Why, hello, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to another edition of Late Night on Chain. Not late night where I am, but late night again, somewhere in the world. I'm your friend Bill, who probably will need better lighting. It doesn't matter, though. Doesn't matter. The show goes on regardless of whatever lighting you see. You know, it's funny. Every time I hear that sound, that intro, I've literally heard it 50 million times. I like vibe to it. I could be wrong. I think it's a banger. If you don't think it's a banger, something wrong with you because it is a banger. But if not, please message because hate messages are great too. I take it all. Impressions matter on the timeline. Anyways, welcome, guys. Last episode of the week. As you know, we do this Monday through Thursday, noon PST. Started a little bit later because we had to make time for our friend, our confidant, our friend, amigo, Zach Prater. I'm really excited to have Zach on. I'm super happy for him because, you know, he was affected by the Coinbase layoffs whenever they did that a few months ago, and he got back on his feet. And now he's working with Popdex, and I'm excited for him, man, because they are, just kind of going through the timeline. You know, they are rewarding test users. They basically have shown that they care about the users more than most. And I think they did like a $30 million raise, so they're in it for the long run. So I'm excited to have Zach on. We need at least 2,000 per episode. That is my goal. That is my KPI. If I don't, we've been actually doing pretty well with that. So shout out to you. So I know it's a different time. We'll get these numbers up. Push them up. Like, subscribe. Well, actually, there's no subscribe on Twitter, but push. All right. So Zach will be on in like a minute or two. Before we get started, though, got to make sure I show some love to the sponsors that show me love back, because we love sponsors and we don't charge for non-sponsors. However, sponsors have to be shown love. This episode and all the episodes brought to you in August are brought to you by EZA Kickstart. If you are a tech builder in AI tech and you're choosing Solana as the ecosystem you want to be a part of, choose EZA. EZA is now providing the infrastructure for the top minds in AI to come on chain. Solana's had the longest, run as being just this meme coin casino for the young generation, and that's still cool. But now they provided the infrastructure for teams to build on their launchpad, and basically they come from the real world, the Kwok brothers, and they have seeded like 300 plus projects that have gone unicorn status, 300 plus million, a couple in the billions. So check out EZA. Three more. We got Banker. Banker provides the agentic tooling on Base, and they allow the agents to operate autonomously. It's funny thing about Banker. Everyone knows, AI agents are the future. However, it's they're in the news for different reasons. I really don't have an opinion on that. They're doing with the sushi thing, and some people hate it. Some people think it's taken away from Banker. Some people are saying it's no big deal. I don't know. Love to know your opinion. Definitely would love to have the player on to explain. So check them out. And last two more, we got DTF. Now, DTF is interesting because they're providing tokenized stocks, which are crossing $1 billion trading days. What if you earn from that volume? They're market makers. That's DTF. Treasury of the world's most valuable companies, compounding every time a stock trades on chain. Hold it, and you're exposed to that growth. Stake it, and you get paid in stocks every hour, with one staker winning the premium prize. Tens of thousands already paid out to stakers. RWAs are moving on chain. DTF is how you get paid for it. And last but not least, we got Buildify. Buildify are true, honest builders. They're building, yes, another launchpad, multi-chain. However, no token involved. They're here to basically allow builders a chance to be seen and earn from their trading fees. They're coming to Base very soon, so we'll be having them next week. I always appreciate good builders. Even if it's a tough competitive landscape, they're out here, and so they have my utmost respect. All right, let's just get to it, because it's not every day you have a legend, and this legend, his name is Zach Prater. How are we doing today, sir?
Hey, Bill, I'm doing great, and I love your sponsors. Fun fact, I sponsored EZA's first hackathon at Hack Boston in 2022 or 2023. So I've known those guys forever. I've loved them forever. They're amazing people.
I'm going to clip this. I'm going to send it their way and just be like, the Kwok brothers, we got a legend, Zach Prater, who also knows you. No, they're really good. And like I said, I think, I appreciate all my sponsors, but they're definitely, innovative in the sense that they're bringing real utility to Solana. I really like that because, like I said, Solana, you think of Solana, you think of just like young Gen Z people aping stuff. Nothing wrong with that. But if you're a builder, you sometimes get thrown off. So I like that they're creating that new thesis.
I think for me, I like EZA just because they're able to build like their own ecosystem, their own startup ecosystem, just by hosting hackathons and being present. So big fan of these, love them. But yeah, I'm here to talk about Popdex. I joined the team very recently, and it's something that I think is really interesting. Like, I don't know about you, but how many times have you heard just the word extraction, extraction, extraction out of like almost every product? And what intrigues me about Popdex is like we're trying to do a different approach to the traditional design to where you can give anywhere between like 100% value back that's contributed at Popdex to the actual users. Like I'll touch on what Popdex is first. First and foremost, it's a perpetual decentralized exchange that allows you to trade perpetual contracts up to 100% leverage. And currently, we're very limited on pairs. We are looking for testers. We're in the testing phase. We're paying all of our testers. We did our first round of airdrops to our testers for our private alpha, I think about 2 days ago. And we're doing another round of airdrops this month. I can't give the date out, but if you do want to be a tester for a very early cryptocurrency startup, we're very much so looking for testers. You can find me on Twitter. You can DM me. I'll send you a code and you can get trading today.
Let me ask you this, Zach. All right. Because I think there's a lot to dive in. And like I said, you guys are putting the priority on the users first and foremost. And it's clearly evident, actually. You know, just recently looking at the timeline, you start seeing some of these people who have tested it and some of their airdrops they're getting. These are not like pennies. These are substantial amount of money. So we'll get into that. And it's clear you guys care about it. But let's start with the beginning, Zach. All right. Now, Popdex. Obviously, you guys aren't the first to enter this arena. It's a very difficult arena, as we know, but obviously that means there's opportunity. Tell me what, in your eyes, separates Popdex from the hyperliquids, the other people out there trying to do what you do. Why should people care specifically for Popdex?
So I think for us, the main thing is token expectations and then circular economies. So whenever you look at a lot of the top, perp decks out there, if you take away points, if you take away airdrop farming, it's really hard for them to attract users. And then as soon as they launch their token, all of a sudden it's all about the token. All of the fees go back to the token. All of the rewards go back to the token. None of it goes back to the users after that token launches. And Popdex is really trying to kind of change that. And we're trying to create like more of a circular economy. So any of the value that's acquired by Popdex actually goes back to the users that bring that value. I've worked in crypto for a long time. I think I'm going on 11 years now professionally. And you see a lot of people say, I'm building this product. It's very interesting. It's attached to this token. And I want to get away from that model. I want to get to that model to where if we're giving value back to users, it's paid back in the value that it's coming from. And so any users that utilize our platform are able to get that value back. Like imagine if, this is just for an example, imagine if Hyperliquid had no token whatsoever and they just gave all of the transaction fees back to their users. It's a wonderful circular economy. But they didn't do that because they had to sustain themselves. Well, we focused on fundraising first. We're focusing on product market fit second, and then we're focusing on rewarding all of the users back that use our platform. So that's, in my opinion, that's kind of what sets us apart.
Now, do you think, and it makes sense, the circular economy, it's all about aligned incentives, right? Aligned interests. And you're right. Once the token is launched, the incentives for the platform have to go to the token itself and not the traders. But you guys are now establishing it where the aligned incentives, there is no token right now. So that is now to the platform participants. So I like that. So with Popdex, talk to me about what are you seeing in the product, the market fit right now? Obviously, you guys have a focus in the eastern part of the world, and I know now you are bringing on to do the western. What is, I guess, the general? Are you trying to go on a global scale? Like, talk to us about your go-to-market strategy. Were you guys focusing first on the eastern regions and now going to the west? Talk to us about strategy-wise.
So strategy-wise, the team is heavily based in the eastern countries. And so it was very easy to kind of have that go to market fit within those regions just because that's where the majority of the team is based. Whenever it comes to the Western side of the market, and I'll clarify this as United States, Latin America, European Union, we have to be very careful with those regions because there's a lot of regulatory controversies. It's really hard to use a lot of these platforms without a traditional VPN. So we're focused on onboarding traders within the United States right now, or at least I am, because on a lot of the larger platforms, such as Hyperliquid, such as Lighter, such as Advantis, the United States actually accounts for 25 to 30% of all transaction volume, even though you need a VPN to use it. So it's the craziest problem or kind of conundrum of the United States wants this platform. The users want these platforms, and they're already using them regardless of if they need a VPN or not. So my focus right now is to see if we can onboard traders in the United States, in Europe, in Latin America to test the product and give us feedback on what they want. Because the biggest focus right now is to get feedback, collect feedback, and then see what users want. Because we can build a platform with exactly what we want, but if we're not the users, if we're not the core user base, we need to understand what the users want and then build that product accordingly.
So walk me through the baiting testing right now, and I also want you to share your screen so people can kind of see what's under the hood. Maybe they're, if you're allowed to, if they don't have an access code, maybe you can kind of show people what it looks like, and maybe that might interest more people to apply. But walk me through how Popdex is incentivizing people to come in, right? Because like I said, you have competition, but you guys have raised a lot of money, and some of these airdrops have been very substantial. So is the thinking, hey, come to our platform, trade with real money, try it out, give us feedback, and you might earn some staking or some I guess airdrop in the future? Is that kind of what we're aiming for right now?
We're not necessarily touching on the airdrop right now because I think it's more important to reach product market fit before you even consider a token. Because
Well,
everyone will.
I'm not sorry. I'm not saying the airdrop of the token. I'm saying what you guys rewarded users recently with, like, people were just making some money for testing.
Yeah, so making money for testing that comes from the fundraising amount because we need to make sure that the product is there. In the future, whenever it comes to rewarding users, that comes through fees and rebates. It's almost impossible to have a zero fee platform. Lighter is very focused on zero fees, but they also have a 97% buyback with all of their fees. Within our platform, as there's no token to buy back, we have different mechanisms and incentives to be able to give those users back the fees. So it can be anywhere between, let's say like a 20% rebate or up to a 50% rebate on the transactions that you do. We could do weekly giveaways. We could do different airdrops of just USDT, which is currently what we did. With all the testers within the private alpha phase, we airdrop USDT. And Bill, I don't know about you, if someone airdropped me USDT or USDC, that's the absolute best airdrop I could get. It's not fluctuating. I don't have to care about the price action. Like, it's good. So if we're already collecting fees in stablecoins, we should be able to airdrop those stablecoins to the users, and they shouldn't have to worry about the token itself. There's no buyback mechanism. We're collecting fees the same way that every other platform is. The only difference is that we're giving those fees back to the users. So that's kind of where our mindset is right now. Within the next 2 weeks, we're planning our second round of airdrops. And this is for users that join our platform, that trade on the platform, and then specifically give feedback on what they want the platform to be. And there's a lot of interesting feedback because everyone's different. Like, Bill, I don't know about you, but there's some features that I love from certain platforms that I don't like on other platforms. And so it's collecting that feedback to understand what everyone wants and then what their expectations are. Because if we don't meet those expectations, it's going to be really hard to, continuously airdrop USDT, USDC back to the users. We need to be able to hit that product market fit by meeting expectations.
I mean, from the outside looking in, I think how you guys are doing it is absolutely a masterclass as a new product because, again, just from this last round, and I guarantee you're going to probably see a ton of signups going forward if you haven't already seen it. Once that first, you guys distribute the USDC, USDT. First of all, there's nothing better than feeling a sense of reward, whether or not they traded way more or not. It doesn't matter. Feeling seen, it goes a long way. So you can have the biggest traders in the world, and they could be losing tons of money, but whatever. But just having something come back makes you feel appreciated. So I want to congratulate you on that because I think that is absolutely critical. It's no points. It's no like maybe you can get something. It's like physical. So I think that's a number one hit. Number two, your feedback is extremely important because who better to know these users than the users themselves? So far right now, the feedback that you have received internally, has it been some really good feedback? Talk to us about like maybe some of the things that you guys have gotten from the community.
So we're focusing more on feedback from the product. Everyone has a lot of ideas on where the fees should go, how we should airdrop tokens to users, different rebates, different incentive mechanisms. That's fine. But right now we're focusing on the product itself. We want people to be able to draft beautiful charts. We want people to be able to post saying, hey, I made this profit on this trade. We want people to be able to trade an excessive amount of RWA pairs, as that's very trending right now. So that's kind of where the feedback is right now. We're focusing on feedback of the product itself. In the future, once the product is live, then we'll collect feedback on the incentive mechanisms.
Sure.
What are you looking for? We're collecting X amount of fees. How would you break it down? What are you looking for? So right now, a lot of the feedback has just to give examples, as it's like a 3-month-old product. It's minor things. It's like we're having a little issues with like wallet connectivity. A little bit of the latency is an issue. Some people are wanting to connect to their APIs for advanced trading formulas, and like that's all fine. That's the feedback we're looking for. We're looking for feedback of saying, hey, I want to do XYZ with your platform, but I can't do it right now. You need to be able to update your docs. You need a better API key for me to be able to use. The trading latency is kind of an issue right now. So that's kind of the feedback that we're collecting right now, because we're in the testing phase. And that's the best time to get involved. It's the best time to get involved and say, hey, I've got feedback on this. And then 3 weeks later, we finished it. And I'm able to send you a message saying, hey, your feedback was so valuable. Not only you're part of airdrops, but we implemented your solution. So that's kind of the feedback area right now. And to kind of touch on your first point, that's kind of where I see the most innovation. The idea of building a circular economy. It's really difficult to try to build anything with no one bringing anything in. Like you cannot build a DeFi platform without users bringing in their liquidity. And I think the big issue is, as more TVL grows on certain platforms, a lot of those rewards go to the team. It goes to marketing, it goes to salaries, it goes to like legality, it goes to a lot of different things. But a lot of that's not seen back to the users. So that's kind of where we're focused. We're trying to build a circular economy to where any user that comes to help build Popdex is rewarded for the amount of effort that they've done to help us grow. And it's also a problem at scale. As we grow, things will adjust, things change. And, watch us hit hyperliquid status one day. Things are going to adjust, things are going to change. But right now, we're trying to focus on the users and build that circular economy.
I love it. Let me ask you this, because as someone who has seen a lot of things, social is a component, is being very popular in many of these projects. And that is, you've seen the rise of FOMO and just being able to see everything, even though they've kind of given this rise. And I think personally, if I was giving feedback, I think I would love to see a social component of my trades that I'm making and like my thesis. Like, I think Bitcoin's going to go up. Here's why, and then people can read it. Have you guys given any thought to that?
So we have, and although right now everyone's kind of attributing FOMO, to me, I look at Kalshi, and I think Kalshi did this really freaking well. First of all, they have a leaderboard for every different category on Kalshi. Second of all, you can click people on that leaderboard. You can see not only the trades they're doing, but you can see the social posting that they're looking into, different things that they think will increase, different things that they're interested in. And then third of all, you can click their social media profiles. It'll take you to their Twitter, their Discord sometimes, their Telegram occasionally. And I think they did that really well because they were able to focus on social trading instead of just trading itself. And Kalshi did this months and months and months before FOMO ever even tried. So I'm looking at Kalshi and I think it's beautiful. I think FOMO has done it on a beautiful execution way, specifically for their mobile app. But currently, Popdex is focused on, on the web, on the browser. We're not focused on mobile right now. So I have to compare this to different web applications. In Kalshi, Polymarket, they did that social aspect perfectly. I mean, yeah, Kalshi is just a very good example of social trading. People want to do things together. And eventually people want to get famous for being able to do things. Like if I'm a really successful trader, that's one thing. But I'd love to be able to build a community around my trades as well. Like that's massive. So I do like the social aspect of these platforms.
Yeah, I think it's funny how like things just evolve in 2021, 2022. No one was even thinking about these things, but here we are now and it's on everyone's top of mind. Would you say, okay, what's the North Star? What's the North Star for Popdex? Let's put on our thinking caps. Zach, 1 year from now, that you're out of beta testing phase, or I don't know how long that's going to be, but let's just imagine it is August 13th, 2027. It's been an eventful year. 1 year in crypto is typically 5 years in the real world, so a lot has happened. What does success look like for Popdex?
For me, and this is going to be different than the entire team, because everyone's aggressive in their own way. For me personally, I want Popdex to be top 3 to top 5 perpdex platform within our entire space. So that's the easiest North Star to just say. But for me, additionally, it's that circular economy itself. I want to be able to say that we've given X amount to users. We've collected I want to be able to say that we've given 90% of everything back to the users. Maybe 95, maybe 99% of everything we've generated back to the users itself. Because the craziest thing for me is no platform is successful because their product is dope. The platforms are successful simply because they listened to their users and eventually their users kept growing. Like I look at social media, I look at Facebook of even if Facebook is what it was today, if no one used it, it doesn't matter. So my North Star is that circular economy to where we're giving everything we have back to the users itself, because the users are what's helping grow the platform. So although I do say, top 3, top 5 perpdex, that'd be amazing. That's definitely the easiest North Star. For me personally, it's the circular economy of giving everything that we have back to the people that made it happen.
Absolutely. Shout out to the 2029 people tuning in live late night on chain with Zach Prater from Popdex. My last question to you, Zach, on a little bit more of a personal level, because I think it's fascinating. You chose to come to Popdex after your Coinbase layoff, and someone like you is in very high demand. You probably had ability to choose whatever the hell you wanted to work on, yet you chose Popdex. What was it about working with Popdex that made you realize, yes, I believe in the mission. I'm dedicated. I'm dedicating my next however many years to this. Why did you decide Popdex was the right fit for you?
I don't want to throw any shade whenever I answer this. I hope everyone understands that Base is an incredible company. It's an amazing chain to build on, and they've got a lot of the strongest and most powerful people in the world working for it. Base is amazing. To me, building on Base before working there, it was all about, being part of this mission, being part of this vision, bringing the world on chain. It's amazing. And then working there, I wasn't able to see that circular economy to where we were focusing on the builders that made this happen. There were so many teams that I felt were ignored at times, and I'm not going to go deep into that. But whenever Popdex pitched me, and I think what's sad is they really had to pitch me. Like it was it was an intensive decision to join an early stage startup whenever I really could have gone anywhere else and had more sustainability. Whenever they pitched me on saying we're giving everything we have back to the users. We're trying to build that circular economy. And it took me back to what I wanted to do at base. It's where it was highlighting the users, it was highlighting the builders, it was highlighting the traders, because without builders, without traders, without users, the platform's nothing.
Yeah.
It's just a dream that someone had that they couldn't sell. And that's kind of what it was for me. It was what I wanted to do at base, which was build a circular economy to where we highlighted builders that also grew us, that we use those funds to then highlight those builders again. And that's exactly what Popdex pitch was. That's what their mission was. That's what their vision was from the start. And then I joined it. I've been talking with a whole bunch of people, and we did our first round of airdrops. And I remember talking with like a lot of the users, and they're just like, hey, this is insane. All we were doing was testing your product. We contributed volume, but not that much. And I remember talking with like our CEO at the time saying, like, is this going to be a normal thing? And she told me point blank of, this will be our normal thing. We will give everything we have back to the users. And that's exactly what I'm looking for.
It seems like a perfect fit, man, because there was no one better championing builders on base than you, with all your spaces and just championing these shows. Like most people know, I come from the base, or originally came from the base world. I too, have a lot of love, but I rebranded to talk about everything. Times change, but there's no one better to champion builders and users than yourself. Zach Prater, any last words you have for the 2,300 people tuning in live late night on Chain?
I think my last words were to be, if you're open to testing out our products, if you're open to working with a very early stage team that's in Web3, message me on Twitter, find me on Telegram. This handle is my handle everywhere on all platforms. So I'm not hiding from you. I'm very easy to reach. And yeah, I think my last thing was, Bill, I'm so proud of what you've done within this space. And I'm so excited to see. If I had one question for you, can you tell me where's the late night on Chain going to be in 1 year?
Ooh, I always like being on the other end of the seat, because I'm normally the one who asks the questions. If I'm being honest, 1 year from now, I am the go-to show for builders to get distribution, for the consumer, for the audience, traders, to know what's happening on chain. The space moves extremely fast. It's almost impossible to keep up with the innovation that's happening every day, especially in the rise of AI. There has to be one show that you can come to know what's going on. And I want to be that person. I joke, I want to be the boomer thread guy. But I do want to be somebody who, there's room for others, but I do feel I want to be that voice that people can come to, be entertained, but also learn from builders like you, from, some of the top voices, and just kind of have discussions that matter. That's my goal.
Well, I know you're going to reach it. And thank you so much for having me on.
Zach, it is always a pleasure. We're going to make sure we have 3 clips made for you from this show. Tomorrow we'll tag you. We'll tag Popdex. And I look forward to, man, just spreading the word out there. I'm excited to keep pushing and basically be a huge beta tester, because I want to help whatever way I can. So look forward to, I hope you're not tired of me, sir, because I'll be giving you a lot of feedback.
I don't think I can be tired of you. I know I say this story to probably all the time, but whenever I was building a product like 2 years ago, there was no one that was on base that was like the instant go-to. And dude, you had me on a Twitter space after like 35 minutes of me just begging. And there was no fee. There was nothing to join. You just had me show up and introduce me to so many founders. So Bill, I'm excited. I think there's going to be a bright future for both of us. And
absolutely.
Yeah, find me on Twitter.
Absolutely, everyone. Check out Zach Prater. And if you're listening to us on Spotify, head over to YouTube. We have all our inventory of our shows there, so you can actually see what's going on. So Zach, my friend, enjoy the rest of your day, and we will talk soon.
Of course. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. All right, Zach Prater from Popdex, an amazing guy. I absolutely think very highly of him. He was a very instrumental force in championing builders on base, and just an all-around good guy. So I'm excited for Popdex, and Popdex has shown They care about their users. These airdrops that they're giving out, I'm so happy for people. And they're, if you haven't been beta testing, hit up Zach. I think it's going to be mutually beneficial for all. All right, guys, 2,600 people tuning in live late night on Chain. We are out Thursdays. We are done. No show tomorrow, but we're on Monday through Thursday. If you are somebody who's interesting or a project that's interesting, hit me up. We are always looking to feature great guests, great people. Next week we have an amazing show as well. We always do. That's what we do at Late Night on Chain. Thank you, everybody. Until next time. Cheers. Can't roast you, bro. We're no longer live. You did great, bro. You absolutely crushed it. I could add you up if you want. You did fantastic. I enjoyed our convo quite well.
Yeah, I'm still learning the pitch. I will admit. I know what my pitch is, but I'm still learning the pitch because traders are the most opinionated people in the world.
Number one, the pitch is financial incentives. You guys are crushing that aspect. You guys, whatever you decide to do, I'm telling you right now, the strategy of initially airdropping people money for testing, that's your pitch. We care about our users more than everyone else. We care about it so much. We want to reward our users, and we have. Here it is. This is for the people. Just come up to show what we can do better and have fun and trade, and we will reward you. Done. And you can see a lot of people, like I said, people want to feel important, appreciated. Appreciated should be the word of the day for you guys. If you can make people feel appreciated for using their money, because 99.9% don't give a fuck about them. Excuse my language. They just want to extract. So if you make them feel appreciated, your platform is going to be big, especially something like a DEX, perps type thing. Because at its nature, a lot of people lose. They understand the game, but they're still able to receive something they feel appreciated for testing it out. So I think your pitch is good. Love the passion. I think I wanted to highlight why, and it just showed why. It made you even more humanable or human. And it's just great, man. And I'm excited for you.
We're not live anymore, right?
No. I don't think so. Oh, maybe we are. No, we shouldn't be. Anyways.